Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video, let's talk about some of the premium smartphones that you can buy on Amazon India. And the festival season is here, so you might be looking at some premium smartphones. So I'll talk about some of the premium smartphones that you can consider. And there are some things that you need to look if you're considering a premium smartphone. Obviously, if it's a premium smartphone, it should be a great overall all-rounder. It should be sleek in design, should have the latest processor, a really fast one. So you can do everything. For example, the gaming experience should be good. The cameras are also an important part, so that should be good. Also, I feel battery life should be good. Again, with the premium smartphones, you won't find huge milliampere batteries generally. But again, I would say if you're considering, look at least 3,500 milliampere so that it can last you for a typical day. A higher, the better. And also, the display is very important because that's the thing that you see on a smartphone. So again, if you're looking for premium smartphone, ideally I would say look for ones that have AMOLED screen, and obviously they should have at least a full HD plus screen. So here are some of my smartphone picks that I have that are available on Amazon India. So here we have the OnePlus 7. This is a pretty popular device. This comes with the Snapdragon 855 SoC. Still a very fast processor. You don't have to worry about anything. So gaming, etc. will be very good. And again, as it's a OnePlus device, this comes with Oxygen OS. So again, very, very fluid. Don't have to worry about it. In terms of the screen size, it's having a 6.41 inch and it's an AMOLED HD plus screen. And the cameras are dual cameras. The main is a 48 and then we have a depth sensor. And again, it's overall a pretty good device. Now I feel you should be getting some good deals on this smartphone, so certainly you can have a look. But now I would say if your budget is slightly higher, you can consider this new OnePlus 70 that was just launched, and this is definitely, I would say, much better because now this has a triple camera setup. We have all the focal lengths. For example, we have the main camera that's a 48 megapixel. Then we also have a 12 megapixel that's actually 2x zoom, and then we also have a ultra wide angle lens that's a 16 megapixel. So in cameras, I feel it's a huge improvement. A front facing camera is still a 16 megapixel, and another good thing about this one is that this is having a slightly bigger screen, 6.55 inch. But the thing is that this one now supports 90 hertz display, whereas the earlier OnePlus 7 had a 60 hertz display. So overall, very good. And also, this comes with even a faster charger. The regular OnePlus 7 came with a 20 watt dash charger. This comes with a 30 watt rough fast charging. So again, I would say this is also a very good device. Now, if we move, now we can go to the Reno 2. This was launched recently, and as you can see, again, all these smartphones have an in-display fingerprint scanner. Even this one has an in-display fingerprint scanner, as you can see, and again, edge-to-edge display that we have. And this one is actually having a 6.5 inch AMOLED screen. And the thing with this one is that if you look at the back of this one is actually having a quad camera setup. Yes, 4 cameras. And this one, the Reno 2, is special. Moving to the processor, this has the Snapdragon 730G, which is also actually a pretty good, and gaming performance is also good on this one. But the thing is that you might go for this one because of the cameras, because of that quad cameras. The first one is that 48 megapixel we are seeing a lot, but the next one that we have is actually a 13 megapixel, and this has a periscope zoom. That means 2x and 5x optical zoom, and even a 10x digital zoom. So in terms of zoom, if you really want a smartphone that you can zoom quite a bit, then there is no other smartphone that can do it better than this one. So we have that. Apart from that, if we move to the next camera that we have, that's actually a 8 megapixel, that's also ultra wide, and then we have a 2 megapixel that's a monochrome camera. So again, the cameras is the highlighting point of this one. And moving to the front facing camera, it's a 16 megapixel, but it has this party trick. It rises like this, like the shark fin. So that's also pretty cool on this one. So certainly a camera-centric smartphone. And if you're looking for a smartphone that has the zoom capabilities that you think you'll use a lot, then you can consider this Reno 2. We also have one more version of this Reno 2, which is known as the Reno 2Z. This one is slightly more priced better, I would say. This one is having the MediaTek Helio P90 SoC. And this one also, if you look at it at the back, in fact, if you look at it, both of them from the back, they're very close to each other, very similar. But this one also has a quad camera, but the setup is a little bit different. For example, the main camera again is that 48 megapixel, and we also have 8 megapixel that's ultra wide, but we don't have that optical zoom on this one. The other two cameras, the 2 megapixel and the main 2 megapixel is for monochrome that aids in photography, and we also have a 2 megapixel for depth. But in terms of looks, I would say it's almost same. We have the in-display fingerprint scanner and everything. And for the front-facing camera, it's not that shark fin type. This one is using a traditional pop-up camera like this. But trust me guys, if you don't care about what do you say, that 5x zoom, 10x zoom, this one also has a really good camera. I tested this, and in terms of skin tones, human skin tones, etc., they were produced very well on this. So for general purpose, I would say this one is really good. Now we also have one more smartphone, and this is for people who love selfie, and as you might have guessed, this is a Vivo based smartphone, and the name of this one is the Vivo V17 Pro. And this one again, as you can see, is having a 6.44 inch screen. It's again an AMOLED screen that we have on this one, and this one also has the in-display fingerprint scanner. Again, as you see, all the smartphones that I've mentioned have that in-display fingerprint scanner. And the speciality of this one is that this one also has that quad camera setup. As you can see, you can clearly see that over here. And again, let me give you a configuration. The first one is actually a 48 megapixel. Then we have 8 megapixel that's ultra wide, and then we have a 13 megapixel that's a 2x zoom, and finally we have the 2 megapixel for depth. So the rear facing camera is pretty good. It offers you all the focal lengths that you would need, but the biggest party trick for this one is the front facing camera. Let me show you. And when I opened it, as you can see, not one but two front facing camera, and this is the only one in this segment that has the dual camera and that pop-up camera, as you can see. And the main camera is actually a 32 megapixel, and we also have an 8 megapixel wide. So if you take a lot of selfies is your highest concern, then there is no other phone that can take selfies better than this Vivo V17 Pro. So again, you can look at this, selfie is your highest concern. Now, these were some of the Android phones. As we are talking about premium smartphones, how can we forget iPhones? So let's talk about iPhones now. So let's start with the most affordable iPhone that I can recommend, and that would be the iPhone 6s. And what I really like about this one, as you can see, it is still a pretty compact phone. Most of the new iPhones have become very big, but some people still prefer a small phone. As you can see, it fits in your hand like this. And this is the classic iPhone 6s. This has actually a 4.7 inch screen and has that Touch ID and stuff on this one. It's pretty sleek, and this is basically having the Apple A9 chip. So again, the performance is good, but camera is a single camera, 12 megapixel, and front facing is a 5 megapixel. So if you're on very tight budget, you can consider this. That's the iPhone 6s. We also have the iPhone 7, 7s, and 8. You can also consider those. iPhone 8 was also 8 Plus was also very good. I like the battery life on that. But again, let's move to some of the modern iPhones, and I would say iPhones really changed from this iPhone 10. This is actually my wife's iPhone 10. That's why it's not detecting my Face ID. I'll have to enter the password. But this actually changed everything. As you can see, this has an OLED screen, and finally we have that Face ID and everything, almost bezel-less and stuff. So you can consider this iPhone 10 if you're getting a good deal. It's still a fast phone. It's my wife's phone, almost 2 years old. Again, I noticed no lag or whatever, and the cameras have that dual camera that you are getting on this one. But I would say look at the new iPhone 10s. This is my iPhone 10s. As you can see, Face ID is considerably faster on this. Everything is really smooth. This actually has the Apple A12 Bionic chip, really fast. Everything you throw on it works. This also has 3D touch. Sadly, in the latest iPhones they have removed it, but this one has 3D touch. And what I like is the camera is a huge improvement, I would say. This is my screen guard that's coming out, as you can see. I've just put it. Anyways, the camera is main camera is a 12 megapixel, and we also have a 12 megapixel that's for zoom. And the camera performance on from the iPhone 10s I would say has really improved. Also in terms of battery life, this was better than the iPhone 10. So still a very good phone. Front facing camera is still that 7 megapixel, and people always ask me about Face ID. As you can see, it works almost every time without any issues. Still a very good phone, and also the stereo speakers are there on this one. They are very good. Now, if we talk about its elder brother, that is this iPhone XS Max. This is almost the same as the iPhone XS, but the thing is that obviously this is bigger in screen size, way bigger, I would say. Let me show you side by side. The iPhone XS was 5.8 inch. This is having a massive 6.5 inch screen. The processor is the same A12 Bionic. So that's the biggest difference. And what I noticed is also because it's bigger, this has a bigger battery, almost a 3174 milliamp hour. So the battery life is also very good on this one. So if you're getting a good deal on this one, still I would say iPhone XS Max is a good one. Now let's talk about the iPhone XR, and I would say this was one of my favorite iPhones. It's not because of what he says specs. Again, specs wise, this also has the A12 Bionic chip. So again, it's very fast and fluid. You don't have to worry. But I felt this was a very practical phone when it came out last year. And this one is having a 6.11 inch screen. And some people say that it's just normal IPS LCD screen. But I don't have a problem. It's a very good quality IPS LCD screen. Again, notice the viewing angles and everything. That's really good. The Touch ID is also really fast on this one, as you can see. So no issues, it's very good. And one thing that I really like on this phone is the battery life that I was getting. In fact, I would say in terms of battery life, it was giving me better battery life than even this iPhone XS Max. Yeah, we have that. And but moving to the camera, this one has just a single camera. That's a 12 megapixel. But again, it's the same main camera that we are finding on the elder brothers. So again, excellent phone. I would say a very practical phone. But now Apple has also released the iPhone 11. So you can even consider that. I don't have it right now, so I can't show you guys. But I would say that has improved over the regular iPhone XR. This had a single camera, but the new iPhone 11 is having that dual camera setup. Apart from the regular one, we also get the ultra wide and the new A13 Bionic chip, which is supposed to be giving even better battery life than this one. The iPhone XR had insane battery life. So guys, these were some of my picks for the premium smartphones that you can consider during this Amazon Great Indian Festival, that is from 29th September to October 4th. So guys, I hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.